West, 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 West. This the West, 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 the West Coast. This the West, 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 the West, West. This the West, 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 the West Coast.
We handing out rings here on West Coast Mindset. We have a champion in the NHL, and we will have a champion tomorrow night in the NBA. This is episode 11, and let's talk about it, baby. Beginning with the Florida Panthers taking home their Stanley Cup last Tuesday night with a dominant victory in Game 6. They're the first team to win back-to-back championships since the Tampa Bay Lightning in 2020 and 2021. And yeah, what a dominant performance by the Panthers, man. At home, Game 6, the crowd was absolutely electric. So much on the line. They didn't want to go to a Game 7 because if you go to a Game 7, you never know what happens, especially being on the road because they would have to go back to Edmonton for that. But yeah, it was a great performance. Sam Reinhart, man, he was fantastic. 4 goals, including 2 big ones in the first 2 quarters, and it was a great performance by him. Overall for the series, he was he started off a little slow, but he really picked it up at the back half of the series. Brad Marchand, what a pickup, man. The Bruins, they really messed up. I get it, they're going through a lot of turmoil in that franchise, but to give up Brad Marchand for that little of a trade, it really worked out for the Panthers, and they really took advantage of it. He was absolutely fantastic this whole playoff run. Sam Bennett, the dude, you got to pay the dude. The dude was fantastic in this whole playoff run. He scored an NHL record, 12 goals on the road, breaking that record, and also took home the Conn Smythe Trophy, the playoff MVP for the entire playoffs. And he was absolutely outstanding, scoring goals and being physical and putting up big hits and being an absolute beast out there on the ice. And yeah, the Panthers, this was an absolutely dominant run. They tied the NHL record with 10 road wins. They were a road underdog in every single series, and no matter what, they just found a way to win, and they have the absolute grit and toughness, and they can go into any opposing arena and beat you there. And they showed you that they have that killer instinct, and they can go and just snatch your heart, and no matter where it is, and they can beat you. Sergei Bobrovsky, an absolute monster in net, absolutely dominant. If you try to score on him low, he's gonna stop it. Like I swear, every single time I watch a Panthers game, every time you score on him low, he's making the save. I've rarely ever seen somebody score on him on the low part of the net, and he was absolutely fantastic. And he went through a lot early in his career with the Panthers. He signed a big deal, big contract, and he really wasn't living up to it. He got a lot of scrutiny from the people out there in Florida. But, man, you got to give the credit. He's bounced back in a big way the last 3 years and been an absolute brick wall in net. And no matter what, you can't score on them if it's a big game. Because if it's a big game, he's going to lock in. And he's been absolutely fantastic. And, yeah, just a great dominant run. Like I said, they're the first team to go back-to-back since 2020, 2021, Tampa Bay Lightning. And it's a trend right now. The state of Florida, they're dominating hockey right now, and it's been a great thing over there. And a lot of people were questioning, is Florida a hockey state? Do they have the fans over there love hockey? And we're showing it. They're showing it right now because it was absolutely electric in the building. And if you see the streets of Florida right now, it's all just Panthers fans partying and going crazy. And if you look at some of the social media stuff right now, the Panthers are living it up. They're in nightclubs and they're just living their best life and getting lit, and it's awesome to see. And yeah, just overall for this team, what a run. And you have to give credit to their GM. He made some big moves at the deadline, getting Brad Marchand, getting Seth Jones, who got a lot of scrutiny in Chicago because he really wasn't living up to being a good defenseman over there. But as soon as he put on that Panthers jersey, he just turned into a whole completely different player and was a dominant defender and shut down McDavid and Draisaitl and a lot of the other top players, opposing players in this whole playoff run. Aaron Ekblad, he's been there from the start. He's been grinding for this team forever to the rough years, and he's been an absolute enforcer, Defensively, he also shut down McDavid and Draisaitl and everybody else that was going up against him. And just the overall defense of this team is just absolutely fantastic. And Matthew Tkachuk, you got to give credit to the dude. Ever since they got him from the Calgary Flames, he's come into this franchise and just completely changed the culture with the way he plays, being a dominant scorer and being a great physical presence out there on the ice. And you can tell he loves it. If you saw the interview post-game interview after they won the championship, he just loves being there. He was extremely grateful for the franchise for believing him and getting him from Calgary and giving him the keys to the franchise. And he's living it up right now. And he's really loving being in Florida. And Alexander Barkov, the dude is just Mr. Consistency. He's always in control out there, passing the puck, controlling the entire tempo of the game, and he just sets everybody up, and he does a great job of that. And yeah, man, this Florida team, you gotta think they're on the run to possibly become a dynasty. If they can bring everybody back, and there's a lot of questions about that because they have some free agents, but if they can bring everybody back on this team, you gotta think they can win at least another 2 or 3 maybe. It's crazy to say, but yeah, if they keep this core intact, they have a lot to look forward to, and they can possibly become a dominant team and become a dynasty for years to come. And the free agents are pretty big. Sam Bennett, he's a free agent. Brad Marchand, he's also a free agent. And Aaron Ekblad. Those are 3 key players you have to bring back. You got to think that they're going to give the bag to Sam Bennett and the Brad Marchand. And the guy who may have to take a bit of a discount would probably have to be Aaron Ekblad. But you can just tell the dude loves being there. And you got to think they're going to negotiate and work out a deal that works out for both sides and bring him back because he is a big piece to that puzzle over there in Florida. And yeah, just a great dominant run by this team. And I want to give a congratulations to the fans over there in Florida and the franchise over there in Florida. And give a big shout out to Paul Maurice, the head coach. He's been through a lot in his coaching career. He coached 25 seasons before getting his first championship. And you can tell the dude is loving it there. And you can tell he would not take anything back. He would coach another 25 seasons and not win a championship and come back on this team again and win 2 more championships because you can tell he's changed the entire culture of that franchise, and the players love playing for him, and they believe in him, and he believes in them, and just an overall great nucleus that he's created there, and you have to give him credit. And he was extremely proud of his group in the post game. He gave him all the props. He has all the belief in them, and he believes and he knows they're great professionals, and they're gonna go out there on the ice and they're gonna play their ass off for him every single game and every single night. And yeah, just a great overall performance, and he has to get a lot of credit for it, and the GM and the players, of course. The players have to get a lot of credit, but yeah, this team is a team of destiny, and yeah, they're going to be a dominant team for years to come. So congratulations to the Florida Panthers, and it's going to be a great NHL offseason, and we'll see what moves are going to be made, and see if there's a team out there that can challenge him and possibly knock them off, because it looks like they're going to be a dominant team for years to come. Now let's move on from a champion to 2 teams that can become a champion tomorrow night. Game 7 of the NBA Finals between the Pacers and the Thunder in Oklahoma City, after the Pacers got a dominant win in Game 6 at home. And it'll all be on the line in OKC to see who takes home the Larry O'Brien Trophy. And this should be a great game. The first Game 7 in the Finals since the Warriors and the Cavaliers in 2016. And, that was a great series, and that was a great finish. So hopefully this game lives out to the same outcome to that game. And there's a lot of questions going into this game, of course, with Tyrese Halliburton and his health, because he injured his leg in Game 5. And there's a lot of questions in Game 6 to see if he was going to be able to play and if he can be productive. But the dude played very well, and he looked like he wasn't hobbled out there. He was out there in instant energy. He had 14 points, 5 assists, hit 3 big 3-pointers, and he was cutting and running. And yeah, whatever drug or medication or shot or whatever they gave to him, it worked out, because yeah, he looked healthy out there, and he was able to produce very, very, very well. And another thing was that since the Pacers were able to blow them out pretty early, he was able to sit pretty much most of the second half. And you got to feel confident that he's going to feel even more confident and healthier going into Game 7. And you got to feel like he should play better, even more better going into that game, because he's the captain of that ship. He makes the whole team flow, and he runs the entire offense. So he needs to show up in Game 7. So that's good for the Pacers. And big shout out to TJ McConnell. I can't say more about this guy off the bench. This little lightning rod point guard. He comes in and it gives them instant energy and offense. And you can make the case that he's been the second best player on the Pacers, or the best player, honestly, in this series, up there with Pascal Siakam, because the dude just comes in and gives them instant offense and energy, and he runs all over the place, and he really gives a lot of a big headache to the OKC defenders. He scored 12 points in that Game 6 and was a big part of that explosion. And also another big shout out to Obi Toppin. This guy has been great since Game 1 off the bench. He scored 20 points, hit 4 3-pointers. He's very athletic. He can go out there and run and dunk on people and be a pest defensively. And you got to give him a lot of credit. Pascal Siakam was good enough. He scored 16 points. He had that nasty dunk though, and he electrified the crowd. And he did just enough. Hit a buzzer beater in the first quarter, and he did enough to help the Pacers win that game. And you got to feel like, yeah, he's going to be even better going into Game 7, because Game 7 is where your stars have to show up. So Tyrese and him need to play well going into Game 7. And for the Thunder side, that was a gut punch in Game 6. They came out with absolutely no energy. They although in the first couple of minutes they had an 8-2 lead, and you were thinking, oh yeah, they're gonna go on that big run and they're gonna blow the Pacers out early and take the heart out of the crowd, and they're gonna go and close this thing out and win the championship. But they had no life after that. Chet Holmgren was an absolute no-show. He did nothing. I didn't even think he was out there. He just was nowhere to be found. SGA, yeah, he put up 21 points, but he didn't put the same dominant performance that he usually does on a game-to-game basis. He really was not there to be found. Jalen Williams, after that 40-piece he put in Game 5, he was a minus 40, which is crazy to say. He went from scoring 40 points to being minus 40 for the game, and he was absolutely nowhere to be found as well. And just all the flow of the team, it just wasn't there. They just weren't ready to put their foot on the pedal and take home the trophy and win this championship. They came out with no life, and yeah, it was an absolute blowout after that. So you gotta feel like they're gonna be gonna have a lot of pressure going into this Game 7, because if they blow this and they don't win Game 7 at home, there's gonna be a lot of questions for this team going forward. Like, are we gonna say, are they really an all-time dominant team because they didn't win the championship? Is SGA really gonna? Is he the guy that can lead the team to a championship? Is Jalen Williams really that dude? Kendrick Perkins called him Scottie Pippen, which was crazy, by the way, but he did. Is he gonna live to being Scottie Pippen? Is Chet Holmgren really that dude? There's a lot of questions, so they gotta answer the call, and they gotta go in at home and win this championship, because it's gonna be a lot of scrutiny for them if they don't do it. And a lot of other key things. Alex Caruso, he didn't show up as well. You got to think he's gonna be better at home. He's gonna be better offensively, because you know what they say, role players play better at home. So you got to think he's got to be better. Cason Wallace should be better. And yeah, I expect the Thunder to play a lot better. But the Pacers are going in there with a lot of confidence, and they already went into their building once and got a win in Game 1 with that game winner by Tyrese Halliburton. So it's gonna be a great game. And if I was to my prediction for this, I think the Thunder have to win this game. I think the Thunder will win this game. I think it's gonna be a grind out game. It's gonna go down to the final couple of minutes. SGA is gonna have the ball in his hands, and he's gonna have to look like the MVP and bring this game home, because it's gonna be a physical fight to see who can win this championship. So I think the Thunder will win this game, and it'll be a close win. It'll probably be like maybe between 5 points to 2 points or something like that, but it'll be a close finish in crunch time. And I think the Thunder are going to win this championship. But big kudos to the Pacers. If they win this, this will be absolutely amazing for their franchise, their first NBA championship. They have 3 ABA championships, but the fans never want to win an NBA championship. And Reggie Miller and all the former Pacers showed out last game, and you can tell they're rooting for this team along with the fans. And everybody wants the Pacers to win, and they'll be the ultimate underdog story. And it'll be huge for Tyrese Halliburton. It'll raise him even more up a level and put him in the conversation for being a superstar. Because there's a lot of conversation right now. Is he a superstar? Is he just a star? Is he just a good player? But you got to give the dude respect. If he goes out there and wins this championship, you got to put him in the conversation for possibly becoming a superstar. And Rick Carlisle, the coach, even if he doesn't win the championship, with 2 different teams to get to a game 7, or actually to get to a championship, that's a big accomplishment. And for this team to get to a game 7 against the number 1 overall seed is a big accomplishment as it is. And if they win the championship, you got to put Rick Carlisle in the top level of coaches all time, because the dude can coach, and he's showing it in this finals. He's showing what all the moves he's making have been great, and he's playing chess while Mark Daigneault, the OKC Thunder coach, is playing checkers. And you can see the difference in coaching styles between the both of them. So if he can win it, you got to put him up there. And it's going to be a great game. Give me the Thunder, and we'll see. We'll take home the Larry Brown Trophy, and it'll be an absolute classic. So look forward to it, guys. And real quick, to close out the show, I just want to say, I'll give you guys a quick update on me and my career path. And I have some news, guys. I got my first internship. I am now an intern for Roundtable Sports, covering the NFL. And I will be covering the New Orleans Saints for about 3 months, giving out news and giving my insight about the team and talking about them. And I'm extremely excited for the opportunity. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and you can go check me out on roundtablesports.com going for the next 3 months. And yeah, it's gonna be a great experience for me. I'll still be doing this podcast along with it, and they're actually gonna help me grow this podcast even more, which is awesome, because I was like, oh, maybe if I go do their show, I might have to shut down the podcast, and I probably won't have time to do it. But they told me that I can still do the podcast, and they'll help me promote it and make it even more better than what it is right now, because it's already a great product as it is. But you gotta look forward to even greater things with this podcast, and for me in my career on the other platform. But yeah, you guys can go check me out on Roundtable Sports for the Saints, and you can see my stuff on there. So look forward to seeing me on there, guys. And I got to give you guys a lot of credit for helping me get this opportunity. I couldn't have done it without you guys' viewership, and I'm so grateful for that, guys. So thank you so much. And we'll see who will win this championship, and you'll see me covering football in the future. And it's gonna be a great couple months, guys. It's gonna be a great summer. So this is the West Coast Mindset, episode 11, and I will see you guys next week.
This the West, 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 West. This the West, 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 the West Coast. This the West, 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 the West, West. This the West, 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 the West.